The battle is over, but this is the moment most people misunderstand. You think survival means escaping the fight, but the real danger begins when the noise disappears and the looters arrive. They don't run, they don't shout, they simply walk through the aftermath deciding who matters and who doesn't. And if you stand wrong, move wrong, or even breathe wrong, you become a decision. Tonight you will learn why some people walked away unnoticed while others did not, and how the most powerful survival strategy in medieval history was not fighting harder, but becoming invisible. The noise fades first but never completely, only enough that you begin to notice the silence underneath it, a strange hollow quiet settling across the land as if the world itself is holding its breath, and you stand there realizing that survival did not arrive as a triumph or a victory but as something quieter and far more fragile, because you are alive not because you were the strongest or the bravest, but because you understand something most people never learn until it is too late. That the true danger begins after the battle ends, and somewhere beyond your sight, the looters are already coming, not rushing, not shouting, just moving slowly with patience, learned from long experience, and you know they exist even if you cannot see them yet because they always do. Travelers, opportunists, exhausted soldiers who remained behind, villagers drawn by rumors carried through distant towns, people who treat the aftermath like a marketplace where risks and reward are constantly measured, and you understand that you will not be killed by them if you follow the first rule, which is simple but difficult: do not look valuable. Because survival is not heroic here. It is subtle. You lower your shoulders slightly, slow your breathing, allow your presence to become smaller until you feel less like a survivor and more like part of the landscape itself. And this works because the looters are not searching for conflict but for opportunity. They scan for movement that suggests wealth or authority or resistance, and if you become none of these things, you disappear from their calculations. So you sit without drama, as if you belong exactly where you are, as if you have already been seen and dismissed, and time stretches into something unfamiliar, while distant figures move across the land, bending down and standing again with patient repetition. And you resist the urge to call out because calling out invites attention, and attention invites decisions, and decisions can change outcomes quickly. So you remain quiet and allow yourself to become ordinary, following the second rule, which says never appear alone and important at the same time, because importance attracts curiosity, and curiosity attracts risk, and perception determines survival more than reality ever could. So you become background, not by hiding completely, but by existing without demanding notice. And when someone in the distance turns their head toward you, your heart tightens, but you do not react, because movement draws eyes, and stillness allows them to pass over you, like wind over grass, and eventually they look away, because people often see only what they expect to see, and they expect survivors who matter to behave differently. So you wait, learning the rhythm of the land, learning how the looters drift and pause and avoid unnecessary encounters. And this teaches you the third rule, which is patience, because danger often moves slowly, giving you time to decide who you will be in its presence. And when you finally stand, you do so naturally, as if you have always intended to rise at this exact moment, and you begin walking not toward escape, but toward normality, because normal movement reduces suspicion, while urgency creates focus, and you walk steadily toward the edge of the field, where shadows gather without disappearing too quickly because sudden vanishing invites curiosity, and you remember the fourth rule, which is that most looters seek certainty, not confrontation, and uncertainty slows them. So your posture tells a quiet story that you are neither threat nor reward, just another tired figure moving through the aftermath. And as the sun lowers, the light softens and shapes blur, and decision-making becomes harder for those scanning the land, which gives you freedom to move more openly, because twilight hides intention without fully concealing presence. And you realize the fifth rule, which is storytelling without words, that every movement communicates something, whether you intend it or not. So you choose movements that suggest calm and inevitability. And when you pass near others, you acknowledge them briefly without inviting interaction, because recognition without engagement reduces tension, and you continue walking, Understanding that survival here is not luck, but an invisible agreement shaped by shared exhaustion. Because people avoid complications and you are not a complication, and night approaches carrying cooler air and deeper shadows, while the sounds behind you fade slowly into memory and you find a path marked by many footsteps, which is both safety and risk because groups mean witnesses, but also judgments. So you adjust your pace to match others, blending into collective rhythm, which forms the sixth rule, blending through movement rather than hiding through isolation. And soon, you are part of a slow procession, moving away from chaos toward uncertainty, listening to fragments of conversation that focus on simple needs like distance and shelter rather than victory because survival conversations are practical. And you understand something profound, that the battlefield is no longer the most dangerous place. Attention is, and you have avoided it. And as darkness deepens, you feel tension release gradually, realizing that you were never spared by chance but by understanding human behavior well enough to move around it rather than against it. And you follow the final rule, which is that survival is not about defeating danger, but about existing outside its focus, becoming background rather than target, rhythm rather than interruption. And under a sky slowly filling with stars, you walk forward unnoticed, leaving behind a place where stories of heroes and legends will be told while you continue quietly into the future. Alive not because you were extraordinary, but because you understood how to be invisible when invisibility mattered most.